Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 4, The Antilles Extraction. I'm your host, Cleo, and with me I have John and Sam.
Hello.
Hi guys. What's up? So we're talking about Wedge. Yay.
Yeah.
Who was super cool in this episode? I loved him.
I didn't really get the impression that he was like this mega ace pilot yet, but I guess we'll kind of see what he can do later on.
Yeah. I mean, all we saw really was in the simulation. And he seemed to be on par with Sabine's skills. Sabine is a good pilot herself, so.
Yeah, she's not Wedge good.
She's not, but this is a young Wedge, too. This is a Wedge before the rebellion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
I was surprised that they made him as young as they did, because I thought, I guess that makes sense, though, because he's supposed to be about Luke's age. Luke's like, 17, 18 by the time we get to him? So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so like 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, okay. But I'm like, wait, no, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we start off with Rebel, I guess squad, whatever, trying to bring
Fodder
supplies.
Squadron? I mean Phoenix Squadron?
Wait, what did you call them?
Fodder Squadron?
Fodder
That's
Squadron.
all they do is blow up in A-Wings on a near constant basis.
Yeah.
It's kind of their job.
So yeah, oh, they were bringing supplies to this, struggling planet, which I was like, this feels like Clone Wars again. I know. I'm gonna keep referencing Clone Wars because I like when they draw those parallels. It's awesome. But they did a lot of that shit in Clone Wars.
Yeah, well, they had that 3-episode arc with Ryloth with that specifically too. But they've done this in they've done it here in Rebels as well. Like, oh, we need supplies or we're gonna die. So
yeah.
Yeah, but that was
there's
more
going on.
But I feel like that was more for themselves. Like, we need supplies for us. Like, we need fuel for the fleet. We need food because Ezra's hungry,
He's a growing.
You gotta get my damn melons because Hera needs them. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the woman that the pilot was speaking to sounded like a civilian, not like she was part of the rebellion.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. This was, I think, just a straight up, like, this planet needs help.
Yeah. Yeah, which is good to see. It's not just them doing rebel-y stuff. It's them helping people, too.
Mm-hmm.
Rebel-y stuff. Yeah, I'm good with the English language.
No, I like that. They do rebel-y stuff. That's what they're doing. They're busy doing rebel-y stuff.
Awesome. So yeah, the rebels aren't so well equipped as they seem. They're low on pilots, and like John said, they're fodder. They just keep getting blown up, unfortunately.
They gotta put some shields on those aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, at least they have Y-Wings now. A couple of them.
They don't have them, though. Phoenix Squadron didn't take them. They went straight to, what's his name? General Organa. So they don't have Y-Wings. Phoenix Squadron doesn't have them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sent them straight to the General. They don't have the Y. They still only have the A-Wings.
Oh.
And whatever other random ships they've stolen.
Okay.
So, well, I guess technically and a TIE bomber now.
Yes,
So,
they do have TIE bomber now.
They have that.
Which I'm sure Sabine will paint.
Yeah,
I
make it
certainly hope so.
Not like a TIE fighter. But yeah, in come TIE interceptors, destroy the whole squad. Red shirts.
Well, yeah, so I do like, so these resembled Sunterfell's squadron of interceptors because they have the red stripes on the wings, which not all of them have. Too bad they didn't put Sunter into the episode, or probably not at all, because I want him to be canon again real bad. But that's beside the point. But, man, the thing was, originally they made the A-Wings to counter the Imperial's interceptors. This does not seem to be the case anymore. Like, they needed a ship that could keep up with a TIE interceptor. Oh, well, okay, make a small, fast ship that can shoot rockets real hard. No, this doesn't... Unless they really soup up the A-Wings from this show before Endor, I don't know. Like, they're just really not doing so hot right now.
I mean, they might. It might also be that these pilots aren't that well trained or aren't that good in A-Wings.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be easy ships to fly, but like, it's embarrassing.
A little bit.
A little bit embarrassing.
Yeah, and they, I think it was 3 interceptors to 4 A-Wings or something like that. So, like, the A-Wings had the numbers, too. They still got mowed over. So, that's not looking good. But you're right. Maybe they do have, like, upgrades in the works for them in the future. That'd be interesting to see.
Rockets and shields like they're supposed to have.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they had any shields. At all.
And that transport, too. My God.
Oh,
they just got savaged.
Oh my God! And weren't they like? They asked for mercy and they just blew them up.
They said they were unarmed. It's like,
which they were. That's why they had.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's why they had the escort.
That is the same transport they used on Hoth, by the way, to escape. So, in case you want a little fun fact.
Yes.
Not the same ship, but like the same.
Yeah. It's like when they were guarding the transports to get them off of Hoth. When the Empire's coming in. Which, speaking of Hoth, I have something else. Well, anyway, just that they had Javi in there. I was like, hey, and they put him in there. So they have because that's one of we never see this guy to my understanding. So I don't know if anybody knows better than I do if he's in the extended universe. But Javi, where that's like the name that Luke is like yelling out in the Battle of Hoth right before he crashes into the snow. He's like, Javi, I've been hit. And then I was like, oh, it's this dude. So they just kind of put that in there, which I liked. I was like, oh, this guy. All right, cool.
He was, he's actually an X-Wing pilot, like in the main story, like in the extended universe. I mean, he ends up being like he's a pretty good X-Wing pilot.
I'm like, this guy's got to have a history.
Yeah. I know him from the X-Wing Minis game because he actually, funny enough, came with the Rebel Transport expansion as an X-Wing pilot. So, hey,
That's cool.
Made more sense than it needed to. So, yeah. And he's supposedly pretty good. Not like Luke and Wedge good, but, okay.
Yeah.
He's a decent enough pilot. One of the things actually... thinking about the transport and them guiding them and all that stuff, I was thinking back to we're unarmed, we're this, we're that, and just kind of this shift in seeing the real true cruelty of the Empire and the fact that it's not what they it's more than just military. There's real evil sizzling underneath the surface. Not everybody sees that as they're overtaking the galaxy, but in one of the other newer novels they kind of touch upon that with they follow. Wait, John, did you read Lost Stars?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, so they follow 2 characters and how they kind of become disillusioned with the Empire and they grow up and do things. But anyway, that same feeling of understanding and seeing what the Empire can do when it's not really going to do with, and the evil that's lurking there, it's very much the same feeling that they were emulating in this episode where the cadets are like, wait, this isn't what we signed up for. Not
exactly.
Yeah, that's
needlessly
not right.
Well, we signed up to, make this a better, safer place to serve kind of in the military. We didn't sign up to just kill innocent people. That's not what we're here for. So, I liked how they captured that very brief, they were able to capture that very, succinctly and easily. So,
yeah. Yeah, and we see it throughout this show and throughout Clone Wars where different planets will feel differently about the Empire, the whatever it was in Clone Wars.
Right.
But yeah, so if their planet's doing good, they'll probably not notice some shady stuff that goes on another planet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and probably how Wedge felt before he joined, where he was like, oh, you know, the Empire seems fine. I've been well off. I just want a little excitement, and then finds out all the bad stuff that happens.
Right. Do you want to get out there, you know, be your own person, see more of what you're used to, you know? Again, it's kind of like enlisting, and then you find out, oh my God, you know, they have a really different agenda here. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm like putting it so mildly, and I'm like laughing, but like, you know, you think of it. But that's the kind of the way they're kind of crystallizing it into really being more in depth and more evil, and the more the implications, and it's just more of a real feel to the overall universe, and just giving more layers to Star Wars. So I like it.
Mm. So we see the Ghost crew, and they contact the new Fulcrum. It's not Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Who is it? It feels like it's a male voice. I know it's
British.
Distorted and
I just said Thrawn. I'm like,
I know.
It's gotta be Thrawn.
It was spooky, because it was not like 2 seconds that we heard this distorted voice that he's like, oh, it's Thrawn. And I'm like,
yeah, sorry.
What? Yeah, no, it's just... I don't...
Either Thrawn or maybe Callus. I don't know.
No, so that's what
I would love if it was Callus!
No. So it could be. So John, I actually thought the same thing as you. I thought, ooh, that's Thrawn, and he's setting them up. He's setting them up and feeding them information that they want to hear. But for this particular episode, because of the way it ended, the fact that, yeah, ultimately, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, but the fact that they come face to face with, I knew the minute he steps out on that ship, I'm like, he's going to wind up helping them. I know it. And then he lets them go, ultimately, lets them escape. He's like, you know, tell Zeb we're even now. And I was like, oh, he's the informant. That was totally him. I'm pretty sure it was him. For the sake of this episode, I have no doubt that maybe down the line it could be Thrawn that's feeding them this information, again, to, like, throw them off and to kind of get them right where they want them and, like, corner them. But for this episode, I definitely think it was Agent Callus, for sure.
Honestly, if Callus set himself up as Fulcrum, that seems like a continuing thing. Like, maybe later he'll do it again and give them information about the Empire and stuff. But then if Thrawn finds out, he's going to use it. He's gonna, like, beat the shit out of Callus and use that against the rebels. You're right. So maybe it'll be Thrawn in the future, but yeah, it is probably Callus.
Yeah, Thrawn, we know, plays the long con.
Yes.
So he could be like, yeah, you know what? You can take Wedge and Hobby and Guy Who Died.
Oh, Rake! I remembered his name. I wrote it down.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I don't remember your name, son, so you're a dead man. You are dead this episode. So, so, like, I could see him, like, yeah, you know what? They could take the Y-Wings. They could have those pilots. They could have whatever the hell they want. But, like, we already see, like, a little bit of that, because when Sabine was being interrogated, we, like, saw, like, this, you know, this bitch knows her life.
Yeah.
I mean, so someone's getting some documents on the rebels. So I don't know. Thrawn, you could see Thrawn's wheels turning a little bit.
I mean, it makes sense to find out more details about them, to find their weaknesses. Thrawn likes to do that anyway, but any good strategist would try and do that, I feel like. But also specifically for Sabine, she has a history with them, so they would know more about her specifically. But I think at this point, yes, they have information on everybody that they need information on.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Ezra, but they'll get more, and when they really need it, they'll have it, and it's going to be a problem down the line because, yeah, the more I think about it, well, I'm sure once we get back to Jedi stuff, we'll be talking about his path towards the dark side. But, yeah, so I won't go into that for now. But, and with Sabine, too, I just thinking about that moment where they, like, get her, I was like, I love that she kicked ass, which I didn't expect her to not, but she got out of there, and, like, more than anything, it's, like, kind of calling back to the idea that she is Mandalorian, she's a warrior, from a warrior people, and, you know, those kinds of things, so. I liked all that.
Yeah. And I mean, she's got different styles of fighting to draw from. Like, you know, the Mandalorians, then the Empire, then the Rebels, and when she fights Price.
Hell's Zeb.
Yeah, no,
She
exactly.
doesn't fight for Zeb.
Exactly.
I mean,
so when she fights Price, yeah, Price is good, but Price is probably only learned from the Empire. And, you know, Rebels, they know how to fight if they have to fight dirty a little bit. The little sneaky sneaks.
And of note, I will say, like, this was one of the first times in a long time we've had, like, melee combat that wasn't involving Jedi.
Yes.
You know? This is a bare-knuckle brawl, which I don't even know if we had. Really.
No, I don't think we have, and I was, like, going, oh my god, I was like, this is great.
Right, and the fact that it was two women doing it was even better. It was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I was like, yes. Yes.
This is what we needed, man. This is awesome, you know.
I know.
And honestly, I didn't expect that from Price.
Like, it was just a flat-out brawl, and they're both, like, obviously know what they're doing, so it's, like, kind of just a cool representation, and, yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, but it was a good fight, so I was like, and then even better again, Sabine gets out of it, so I was like, cool. I didn't doubt that she would, and I love that they set her up in such a way that I never doubted it either. Mm-hmm. It's like, he just kind of, I knew it, and they've set up her character so well, the development, that I'm like, no, she'll be fine, it'll be good, she's got it, so.
Yeah. And I think my favorite thing is Wedge and Hobby in the cell, like, oh, we're gonna think of something, we gotta save her, and then she just opens the door, and they were like, we were gonna come save you, and she's like, that's adorable.
It's like, you two are cute.
That's cute.
She's like, hope you're better pilots than you are soldiers.
Yeah.
I was like, yup. I was like, don't worry, they'll get there.
Yeah.
Give them a sec.
Mm-hmm. You know, actually, Sabine had a bunch of, like, zingers in this episode, because when Callus was in the interrogation room with them, she's like, oh, look, they got somebody to do your job for you. About Price. I was like, ooh, zing.
I was like, ouch.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like a viper, in and out.
But I have to say, though, I was, again, as soon as the doors, like, the blast doors closed on them on either end, I'm like, that's Callus, I bet. And then he was there. I was like, oh, he's going to help them. He's going to let them go. I love it.
Yeah. And I absolutely love that he used Zeb's full name and was like, we're even. Tell him he can't rub anything in my face anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure he knows I helped you.
Which, like, still has no context for Sabine, because I don't think Zeb ever told any of them what exactly went down.
Probably not.
No, but I think the fact that he used his full name, Sabine was like, oh, all right.
I'll let him know.
Yeah, I'll tell him, weirdo.
Well, yeah, like, she knows something's up. I'm sure that's going to come out.
Yeah.
At least it's Sabine, but, you know. I'm more interested in Callus than I am a lot of characters in this show right now, because, like, him doing this really slow, gradual turnaround into, like, maybe a good guy would be really amazing to see. I'm really excited to see if that actually happens, because he's not making any friends.
Listen,
I think it's a possibility. I really do. I think it's a possibility. I would like that. There
are now multiple possible Prince Zuko's in the Star Wars universe for me, and if at least one of them doesn't pan out, I'm gonna be very mad.
I feel like, but yes, but I feel like hands down, Kylo Ren is the most likely, and he's the closest to that plot line. So I think it'll be him. But you never know. There's always room for people to turn. Yeah, always.
Yeah. Well, those are sometimes my favorite kinds of characters. The ones who, like, toe that line and who, like, come back from being a bad guy, basically.
The interesting thing about characters like that is they aren't, and again, this is why it's getting more in-depth and more multi-layered with just human nature, and again, this is why I like how they're exploring Star Wars now, but, like, I was thinking specifically with Agent Callus, I'm like, you know, the whole thing with him deciding to save them, to not be in debt of Zeb, it just shows that he still has an honor code kind of guiding him. He's not devoid of that kind of humanity yet. And if he was, there'd be no bargaining with him. There wouldn't be anything to do, but he felt in debt, so he's not lost that part of himself yet. So that still makes him technically a good person.
Yeah.
So if it's down there somewhere, maybe we can use that some more. So
lawful evil.
Yeah.
With people who are truly
alignment
evil,
shifts.
like the Emperor or cunning, even like Thrawn, it's just, or Vader, it's just done. There's nothing to bargain with them over. And they have all the power too, so matter.
Yeah. But you could totally take Thrawn in a laser sword fight. That's the only difference.
Right. Yeah, there's a little difference there.
If you try to fight Vader with your laser sword, it's not gonna.
No. If you try and fight Vader, you're dead.
Just
man.
don't, yeah. Probably just don't. Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason Luke won in the end, was because he just didn't. He's
just like, nope.
Yeah.
Just gonna have a little lay down here. Just gonna lay down. Mm-hmm.
Cool story. I'm gonna throw away the lightsaber too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when they get this mission, they're like, okay, it's Sabine. Sabine's the most qualified. She's gonna, kick the shit out of this mission. Immediately, Ezra's like, well, what about me? I can do it. It's like, no, Ezra, baby, sit down.
Well, I mean, they know, and they need to develop everybody a little bit more. Everybody needs their due time. It's time for her.
Yeah.
And so that's just one thing. But another thing is, like, I thought this was a very well written episode where, like, they take the slow moment of having Hera explain. She's calling a lot of shots herself, kind of showing her to be the commander, which I like, and that's how it should be. She's giving him orders and just saying, no, she was a cadet once. That makes her the best person to infiltrate, and that's it. So, and she can take care of this whole mission on her own. So
yes.
And then as that goes, that continues to be a lesson for Ezra, because Kanan's saying, you can't change this, you can't jump in there. And that's something you have to learn also as a Jedi. So it was a good lesson for him to learn for himself as well.
I'm wondering...
for various reasons. But I really like that part where he was like... And I thought, again, even in another layer, it was being really great for Kanan to use that opportunity to teach him as a master to an apprentice, to take an opportunity to teach him with something that was happening in the moment. I was like, yes! I love it.
But my question is, did he learn his lesson in this episode?
We don't, yes
did
and
Ezra
no.
learn his lesson?
I think he learned to trust her more, just to trust the fact that sometimes he's not going to be able to change the overall fate depending upon what he does. Mm-hmm. And that was more or less what Kanan was trying to get him to do. Now, for him, his big downfall, again, is that he's so hell-bent on protecting everybody. Yes. They're so important to him, and that's what's going to not play out for him so well later on down the road. But that's really where all his worry comes from. Not that he's being... But yeah, sometimes he is acting like a typical 15-year-old cocky kid. Who I'm on the force and I can do X, Y, and Z. He is pretty good with it. So yeah. But I mean, I think there is a lot of it where he's just so hell-bent on protecting everybody because they're all he's got. So... Yeah, there's that. That's part of it too.
I also think a lot of his reactions were like anxiety driven. He's like, "No, I have to control this. Let me do it." And he almost gets...
he's terrified.
Yeah, he almost gets everybody killed, like trying to go back for Sabine. And Kanan's like, "Oh no, the ship's gonna blow up, dumbass."
He's still got a crush on her. I mean, that hasn't changed, I'm sure. So like, it's like. That's the only girl that talks to me that's not her. So like
that's not my new mommy, my ship mommy.
That's not my ship mom. But you know what I mean? Like, I think it's also that and yet, like you said, it's mostly because of control, because he's like, I'm a powerful Jedi, like I could keep people safe and I could like wreck everything on board of that ship or on board of that base. But that's not the time for that. Ezra's also not subtle ever.
No.
So, they know his face. Like he can't. It's just not for him, and he's just gotta. I mean, suck it up and actually listen to Kanan for once, because I think Kanan should have just been like, "Okay, Commander, shut the fuck up, please. Like, I can't listen to you anymore."
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen Ezra go undercover as a cadet too, right?
Yeah.
He did once,
Yeah,
but
he
can't
did.
pull it up again.
Yeah.
They got docs on him, man. They know his parents. Like,
Yeah.
it's over.
Exactly. So he kind of can't do that anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, at this point, it's exactly what Harris said. It's like, you know, he's like, oh, but I've done it before. And it's like, no, they know your face. No, it's just not going to happen. For various reasons. Again, that's why I thought the writing was really good. It's very succinct. They set it up well. They made the explanation make total sense.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as character development, like one person delivering that dialogue made sense, you know, again, for character development purposes. So again, thought it was really perfectly done. I was like, yes.
So something I wanted to bring up in terms of, you know, the A-Wings not having shields. In the simulator, something John pointed out, they took out those Y-Wings in one shot. Those Y-Wings that are heavily armored.
What was a simulation?
I know. Shitty simulation. Wouldn't you want a simulation to be accurate? Especially a military simulation?
Those Y-Wings could shrug off so many shots from a TIE fighter. So many. And just be like, oh, the paint scratched. Let's turn the shields back on, Jimmy. Click. And they have turret guns that they didn't use in your simulation. That's good, too. That's really good training for your... Again, it's a simulation. You want your pilots to feel good about themselves. But had that been actual Y-Wings, correct Y-Wings, done. They would have been done.
Yeah.
Forget it. You ion cannon a fucking TIE fighter, it's over. Like, you congratulations. Your only advantage is now gone because you were fast. And now you're not.
That's why I like watching the show with John, because he's just like, that ship is inaccurate. That ship should be able to do that. That ship can't do that. What are you doing?
Well, the interesting thing about the simulation, too, whereas, like, I think they were trying to, like, double dip there, because, again, they're trying to go into the morality of it. They recreate the same situation that happened earlier with, like, them firing on innocent people, and they're like, all right, you gotta be totally brutal, but in that, then you have the inaccuracies of the ship. But they just wanted to recreate what happened previously, and that's what they were doing.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But,
Yeah. And I guess the Y-Wings were to prepare them for fighting against them because they know the rebels stole them.
Exactly.
I mean,
so
it
that's
does make
intel.
sense.
Yeah.
Right. So that part makes sense. But then, like, I mean, it was just funny how the ghost's like, hi, I'm the ghost, blah, blah, blah.
Bloom. Blows everything up. Yeah.
So, I mean, that part was funny, actually. Because, like, it's really weird because, like, you like, I don't know if everyone realizes, like, I know you guys do, but, like, maybe people who watch this don't realize that the Ghost is not supposed to have guns. Like, the VCX-100 is supposed to just be a transport ship. Hera put the guns on, and they are not small cannons, my friends. They are big, heavy laser cannons, like, and the turrets, and, like, you know, she modded the shit out of that. So, like, that's why in the beginning the Imperials are like, wait, why is this thing wrecking our shit so bad? It's like, it's not a normal VCX 100. So,
well, that's,
you know.
It's funny because it's something that Sabine says when they get out of the simulation. She's like, that's a transport. Why did it shoot at us?
Yeah, playing dumb.
It's not supposed to. Yeah, it's not supposed to have that.
Or torpedo launchers that they strap on it. You know? Like, fuck it, throw it on there, man.
Guns and guns and guns.
I was gonna say, Sabine likes her explosives, so...
She puts explosives on her explosives, I mean...
Yes.
It's no surprise for her, but...
Yeah.
She loves blowing stuff up, and I love that she loves blowing stuff up, so...
So I love her...
She hasn't done that in a little while.
Her model's
got... She hasn't! She hasn't done that in a while. I kind of miss her doing that.
Yeah. I like it, her model, instead of having a gun, she's got the trigger for spray the bombs. Paint. Yeah. Or is that her spray paint?
I think it's her spray gun.
Oh, it's her spray paint gun. Oh, okay, never mind. Well, that's still cool.
Yeah. No.
Anyway.
She has an artistic side, which wasn't it weird seeing her with, like, no dye in her hair?
Yeah.
And, like, plain black?
Yeah.
It was just so...
It was so weird.
They were so obvious about it, though. Like, they have her take off her helmet so many times to show us, I'm like, okay, we get it, guys. She doesn't have her wild hair. Cool, got it. I was like, all right.
You think that's her natural hair color?
Over the head with that. I'm like, I got it, okay?
It might have been her natural hair color.
I was wondering if that's actually her natural hair.
Because when
I don't see, that's the thing. I just felt like she just painted it again.
Yeah, well, she
personally.
would have
I don't
had
know.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
But originally, when we saw all the trailer footage for this season, I thought we were gonna get a flashback of her when she was actually in the academy. But it was just her dyeing her hair to go get Wedge. So
Yeah.
And fun fact, just since we're on the hair thing, the voice actor who plays her actually requested her current like white into purple fade for like 2 seasons ago, and they just were able to get it in now for her. So
they were like, "What color do you want Sabine's hair to be?"
I remember that. They talked about that at the Rebels panel at Star Wars Celebration, and she's like, they did it finally. And then, Dave Filoni's like, see, I listen. I do.
I got you.
You don't think I do, but I do.
She's
all happy. So.
Yeah, I thought that was cool to know.
I thought that was cute, too.
I also like that her credential card, when it doesn't work, she blows on it like it's a freaking game cartridge.
Yeah, like it's old Nintendo's. I was like, oh, you guys.
It's like my Sonic 2's not working.
Yay.
Yay. Let's press right real hard for a while and then don't.
Then it'll work.
Yeah. So the dude, I didn't really mention him yet, but I think his name is Scaris. He's the trainer or the cadet trainer or what, a drill sergeant, whatever you would call him.
He's the suitor fell.
Yeah. I liked his character. He really was like a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And I honestly hope we see him again.
Me too. He was he was very accurate into just, it's who I could see being in the middle of the Empire as that kind of commander or whatever. I was like, this is accurate. So I liked him too.
Yeah, and so we had some comments on our video from last week, and it was Schwarzer Blitz who said yes, it was Quillian Voss who killed Asajj in the Dark Discipline novel, and that it was in the novel where Hera learns Kanan's real name. So thank you for the
corrections.
Accuracy.
Yes. Thank you for checking our accuracy.
Making us sound smart.
Yes, even when I have a head cold and I don't feel smart.
That's why we're all here together.
Yay!
That's exactly.
So I think that's where your sneeze went, Christina.
Can we just mention that?
Of course.
So, all right, another stupid ship nitpick that I have to do.
Uh-huh.
So the bomber that they stole, right? They call it a TIE bomber, right? Because it's a bomber.
They did, yeah.
But there were no bombs in it. And there were seats where the bombs are supposed to be, which is okay because canonically they did convert some bombers into transport ships, but then they called them TIE transports and not TIE bombers, and that was confusing to me. And they still have the bomb hatch on it, so they need to decide what that is. Well,
maybe it was a training bomber.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like it's got the seat in there just to have a bomber, or maybe that's just the bombardier seat. Even I don't know. So, but my other thing is Wedge was like, this thing's not very fast. It's like,
it's a bomber.
Wedge, really? Do you see what you're in? It's not,
and it's coming from
it's not a fast ship.
He said he used to drive dump trucks, so I mean, those must have been slow.
Right.
Come on, dude.
It's not for nothing. So a little inconsistency that not little, but so the bomber shrugged off a few shots from the interceptor, right?
Yeah.
I think it took 2 hits maybe, and it was okay, it still flew. It was smoking, but it made it.
Yeah.
But the A-wings got torn to shreds in one shot. The transport looked like a bomb hit it. So is the TIE bomber more durable than the transport and the A-wings put together? Because if that's the case, they need to build them out of not cardboard and aluminum. Because that might be the problem.
Yeah, so, the A-Wings are actually currently made out of aluminum. That is the problem.
They are currently tinfoil. And they don't even launch them. They just kind of throw them.
Yeah, it's like
it's like, okay, boys, time to deploy.
Yeah, out of those rubber band shooters, like pew.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, okay, just take a lesson from the bomber. Less paper mache ships, and everything's gonna be fine for you guys. You're gonna win this rebellion. Everything's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And my nitpick theater is now over.
Oh, of course. And there's definitely a bit of plot armor, obviously, going on around there. And red shirts, you know, fodder and stuff. So.
Anyone whose face looks like this in the show, like that's covered.
Oh my god.
Everyone who's like this is dead.
They don't want to animate the eyes!
I know, like, how...
You look like this, you're fucked.
I know it, but I know so much work goes into this show, much.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I'm like... But at the same time, I'm like, really? This is what you're gonna do?
To be fair,
shaking my head over here. I can't help it. I just cannot help it.
To be completely,
like, and you're like, it's like automatic, like you said, they're automatic cannon fodder. I'm like, all right, bye.
Oh yeah. And to be completely fair, those were the costumes from the original trilogy. Like, they did have the hats like that, but
they did.
Yeah,
that is true. But they had eyes under those hats.
But they had some dude that we could see their face. You could see their whole face, and I remember their faces. And even more so, I think actually, you know, I was so taken aback by that the first time. I actually thought it was going to be somebody who later reveals themselves by pulling off the hat and showing who they really are. I'm like, oh no, they're just too can't be bothered to even do that for this guy. It's just some random dude. And then I'm like, oh, they do it for the rebels and they do it for the Empire. I was like, okay, so this is just a thing. I really thought that's how. I was so shocked that they actually did that. I was just so taken aback. I couldn't believe it. I'm glad you brought that up because that really bothers me. Bothers me so much.
It's really funny.
So next episode is called Hera's Heroes. There it is. Hera's rebel supply mission to Ryloth becomes personal when she and the Ghost Crew brave overwhelming Imperial forces to recover a memento from her ancestral home. I love me some Hera backstory.
Me too. Well, also, because I was a little bit disappointed. They kind of built it up in season 2 when we saw her father, and I was a little disappointed with that. So I hope this will be a little more interesting.
I loved Kanan in that episode.
Oh my god, being super awkward in front of her father.
I know, I'm like, but that, I kind of liked it, but then part of me didn't like it, because I felt like they were just being a little silly with it, and I didn't feel like that was completely accurate, but at the same time, it was so humorous, and they did do it cutely enough that I'm like, nah, that's cute, okay.
He's trying to impress her father.
But the cast listing does say that Cham Syndulla is going to be in the episode, so.
Okay.
And I did remember seeing a clip or something of him. In,
he's going to be there.
I don't know. I watched a bunch of different
just watch Rebels
season
Recon,
trailers. So. Huh?
Yeah.
Watch Rebels Recon. They go over the episodes on the Star Wars channel. It's this, but shorter.
Their YouTube. They got a YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on the Star Wars YouTube
show, but then specifically Rebels Recon, they have it there, they usually air it after the episode, but you can if you go to the website or whatever. Well, I also watch it from the app, so that you just go watch it over there.
Okay.
But it's done by Andy Gutierrez, who is one of the hosts for the Star Wars show.
Yep.
Neat. Okay, so John, where can the people find you?
Apparently nowhere, because I don't have lower thirds, but you could try finding me.
Shit! Wait, I can fix it. I can fix it. Eventually I can fix it.
You know what? It's probably not even worth it. It's okay.
Ah! Nope, I can't fix it. I did it!
Oh, hey, there I am. Hi, everybody.
Sam, where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me there.
Sam?
Oh, you guys can find me in the Upside Down. Well, so I'm being funny because I cosplayed as 11 over the weekend for New York City Comic Con. You guys can find me at Likely on Instagram and Twitter, right there.
Oh, speaking of Comic Con, show us your book.
Oh yes. So,
book.
Hang on. So I had the pleasure of getting my Ahsoka novel. And I got it signed by the author and Ashley Eckstein, Ahsoka Tano herself.
Very, very cool.
How cool is that?
And she is an utter sweetheart. I have met her before, but she's always just a lovely, lovely person. So it was great. I haven't read it yet, but hopefully soon. I have to finish Bloodline, which I'm really embarrassed to say I'm stuck right in the middle of, and I like it so. And I think that's why I keep not finishing it, because I'm like, no, I don't want this to end.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
And we're also in book club, so we're always reading something.
Yes, that too.
You can find me at Cleomoto, and you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows, video games, and movies. Until next time, bye guys! My transitions have been
Seriously,
very slow today.
More paper mache ships.
Paper mache. Oh, ships? It's paper mache and aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
The Rebel Special.
And a little bit of hope.